Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. We've been talking finance, but now it's time to switch things up. I have with me Linus Okorie. He's the founder of GOTNI, which stands for Guardians of the Nation International. What an interesting name. Welcome to the show, Linus.
Glad to be here again.
Guardians of the Nation International. So is it Guardians of the World or Guardians of Nigeria International? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, interestingly, I was 19 years old when I fell in love with the business of developing leadership capital for Nigeria. And I went to a senior friend of mine to share the vision about how we can groom leaders for this country. And we were thinking about what name to call it. And he said, let's call it Guardians of the Nation International and GOTNI. Oh, wow, that was amazing. You know, because it's guarding the values of a nation.
Oh, guarding the future.
The values of a nation.
We say that the children are the future. So if we don't guard them, then we're not guarding our future and the values, as you say. What is the problem with young people occupying position of leadership?
I don't think that there is any problem with young people occupying public positions. What rather has been the challenge is simply that there's been a perception that has happened over time that a lot of people who are older and currently within government positions think they have this assumption that young people are not ready to take over leadership. And the young people themselves also, feel that, hey, these people must come and give us power, right? They will invite us to take over power. And I've always disagreed with that concept because nobody will give any young person, power, by invitation.
Okay,
so the young person, it is a responsibility of a young person to identify what role he wants to play in this country, whether it's private sector, whether it's public sector, and pursues his dream with a clear understanding of what leadership is about.
Okay.
Once that happens, it changes everything.
Okay, if we have young people who are listening to the show, watching the show, and they're saying, okay, yes, I do want to go ahead, I want to pursue public position, for example, but these guardians who are safeguarding the nation are not giving me the opportunity, or for me to succeed as a leader, I need the backing of the guardian. So that's where the issue of political godfatherism comes in. But are you saying that it's possible to pursue leadership position in the public space without having any backing from the older class?
The beautiful thing that the young person will need to have is what we call leadership capital. When a young man has leadership capital, he understands that part of leadership capital is having the capacity to be trusted. Once you have the capacity to be trusted, then it is your responsibility to build a social network around yourself, because you've identified that this is where I want to be in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. And based on that, you can pursue your dream and build the critical mass of the people that you need around your dream. And you are the one that will seek for the mentors that you desire, to bring into your vision, to enable your vision come true. Let me give you an instance. I was a 19-year-old student of a university, got into the university at 20, and I floated this organization. No money anywhere in my pocket. What did I do? I had to identify where I needed to go with my vision, and I came prepared, had my ideas written down. I had a book full of ideas, and I identified the people I needed to talk to. I came to Lagos by myself to meet with somebody like Mr. Gamaliel Onosode, who was, a board guru of all sorts. It was difficult to reach him. But I stayed the course until I was able to reach him and convince him that he needs to be chair of my organization. And he accepted that. These are the things that, currently we're not teaching young people in this generation. This country, had not invested hugely in the leadership capital of young people. Okay. And so that becomes a huge challenge for someone like me.
Okay. So people might be asking themselves, how do I start? I'm a young person and I don't know who to go and meet. I don't have any leadership capital, and that's where the Emerging Leaders Conference 2016 comes in. Can you tell us more about this conference and what people can expect?
The Emerging Leaders Conference is one of the brands of Guardians of the Nation International Company that every year is committed to assembling 1,000 outstanding young leaders who have identified the dream, who are already working on their dream. They could be entrepreneurs, they could be social change agents, there could be young people in government, there could be young people in the professional work. But what they want to do is to say, you know what, how do I get to the top of my career and make a difference? How do I, grow a role process that, when I get to my workplace, the things that I do can, put me in a nice book with those who make decisions in order to promote me my system? How do I build a business that can grow as fast as it could as a result of the fact that I understand the dynamics, the current world dynamic on how to grow a business?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So this conference is putting together these 1,000 people together to learn 2 days intensively on the 21st and 22nd of October here in the Civic Center in Lagos, actually, to develop the patterns for leadership development.
So how can these young people participate?
Truth of the matter is that any young person who is listening to me today, it doesn't matter where you are in the country, whether you are in Sokoto, you are in Owerri, all you need to do is to say, I want to be part of 1,000 change makers. I want to be a change driver. So what you need to do right now is to send a text to 080 9926 3734. 080 9926 3734.
Okay.
And say, let's have your name, what you do, and why you want to have a seat at the conference.
Okay. So the conference theme is self-reinvention, the trigger for economic boom.
Absolutely.
So this is about the individual. What can I do to bring about this change?
Excellent.
To bring about a change in the positive
Excellent.
direction. Because everybody's talking about the recession, but you are talking about economic boom.
Absolutely. There's fear currently in the atmosphere. Young people are thinking, can I survive this, right? And so what we are saying is that I want to change the narratives. The narrative is that every young person who comes to the table must come with value. We're in a value-driven economy right now. Anybody who does not bring value to the table will not be relevant in the new Nigeria. That's the truth. And in this way Nigeria is right now, I want to change that by starting early to provoke young people in the real sense of reigniting fire in their minds to think about themselves as responsible for their growth, not government alone, not individuals.
Okay, so if you're listening or you're watching, these are the people to expect at the conference: Professor Patutomi, Peter Obi, Bishop David Oyedepo, John Momo, Michael Adeojo, Abike Dabiri Arewa, Dele Momodu, Ibn Cemetery, Sam Nda Isaiah, Gosi Ukanokwe, Mercy Makinde, Azu Ishikwena, Adenike Adeyemi, Muyiwa Folabi, Dede Kadiri, Ini Onuka Bimbola, Wale Abodenri, and Linus Okore.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is an amazing lineup of speakers, and I'm sure this conference promises to be packed and bring about that economic boom. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Rubbin Minds continues right after this break. Stay with us. Just